no one is saying that we shouldn't engage with China. I mean, no one on this side would say boycott China, go to war with China. That's not what we're saying. We're saying be alive as to the reality of who you are dealing with. And Vince mentioned certain regimes who we aren't particularly proud of I think, our human rights records, yet we still deal with them. The reality is that we know what those regimes are all about. We know, and there are limits as a result to how closely we do act with them. And that's really where the EU is going to have to go with China as well. It's going to obviously have to trade with China. No one suggests that's not a good thing. However, must it trade in China in key strategic industries where national security of various countries are engaged with? You discover that China actually ends up with a monopoly, or at least a large proportion of some of the most key components to a nation's security. That's not a sensible place to be once you've identified it's not really a true partner and adversary. Okay, trade with it in certain goods, but let's not pretend that we can avoid where that country's real likely interests are. They won't be aligned with us. We therefore need to protect ourselves. So it's a realistic engagement. It's understanding China's a big country, we want to be part of it, but we must make sure we are not so intertwined that should there be a crisis, we are not held hostage to what the Chinese do, because we've seen it so many times before. The Australian case is just one example of how China punishes countries who don't agree with it. And that's a bad news for everyone in that sense.